Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I made a video. Sorry about that. It's just been crazy hectic with the holidays. I hope you guys brought in the New Year's with lots of love and positivity. I just kind of want to make a video about like what I wish I knew in college. This can go so many different ways. I don't even know where to begin. Like, should I start with boys or should I start with, I think boys should just be a whole different subject because I learned a lot about guys in college and the mentality that I wish I had when I was, that I have now about guys and the BS and the texting and all this other crap. So I think I'll start with just the academic part. So when you first start college, I went to, what I wish I would have did is took all my basics at a community college, but I only took my first year at a community college just because I was messing up in high school, so I didn't necessarily get into a university right away, which was good because I came in with a high GPA. I was able to concentrate more. So when you first go to college, and especially if you're at a university, everyone that you came in with is not going to be there next year. There's so many people that I know that came in with us and partied, had fun, guys you talk to, guys that your friends talk to, they're not all going to make it because what happens is a lot of people either can't pay, end up on academic probation and and then can't come back because they messed up because they were concentrating on like the party life, the freedom, the fun, the things that they couldn't do in high school under their parents' supervision. So just fair warning that you're gonna see a hell of a lot of people that first year, and then within the second year you're gonna be like, what happened to so-and-so? What happened to so-and-so? Oh, he was at this party, but I didn't see him on campus. You just start seeing a lot of kids not on campus anymore. Right. So that's my first thing I would definitely say about college is that a lot of people start dropping like flies because they can't end up paying for stuff or they end up getting on academic probation and failing. Yeah. So the university that I went to, I lived on campus that first year, and I'm not gonna lie, like I moved back home after the first year just because well, my second year in college, because I went to community college at first, but that first year at a university living on campus, like that is a time where you make mistakes and you really start to notice how much you don't know yourself. I didn't know myself at all. I was always under my parents' supervision, and I was always like under their wings. And when I was on my own, it was like I was still trying to figure out who I didn't even know that I did, like what I thought I knew, like who I thought I knew I wasn't. Like I wasn't at all. Like I was influenced by friends and family and whatever, and sister, siblings. But when you're out on your own and you're living on campus, it's like, who am I? And you have so many different decisions where, it's just a responsibility thing, and you start feeling the weight of pressure of like, oh my God, I gotta pay my tuition, I gotta keep up with my grades, I gotta find time, I gotta prioritize. And like one of my mistakes was I didn't do that in high school. Like I didn't prioritize. I would come home, I would go to sleep after school and just sleep. But in college, you can't just do that. Like you have to get up and you got to study, you got to prioritize, you got to plan out your week ahead, and you got to know like what days are you going to study, what's next. Your syllabus is like key. Like honestly, like I was like, what syllabus? And they're like, did you print out your syllabus? And I'm like, no, like I didn't do it in high school. Like it wasn't a big deal, but like in college, it is so important to stay on top of your syllabus. Like your syllabus is going to make or break you, honestly. Like it is, because I will come to class some days and they'll be like teachers don't remind you. They don't keep reminding you like, hey guys, remember this quiz is due today. They don't even mention the quiz in the classroom at all because it's on your syllabus paper or an exam that comes up. So sometimes I will walk in a class and they'll be like, so and then like people will be talking and be like, oh my God, that quiz was just so hard. And I was like, what quiz? And they're like, girl, the quiz from last night. And I'm like, oh, how many quizzes have we had? And they're like, we've been having a quiz every week. and it's been like 3 to 4 weeks. So that's 4 quizzes that I didn't take because I wasn't on my syllabus and I wasn't on my stuff. So your syllabus is going to be your best friend. I think you should like have a planner, if not a planner, maybe a calendar in your room. I didn't really like to keep up with my planner, so like a calendar in your room will be a good start, or just having your syllabus like pinned against the wall and like writing out a list of like what's due that week or what's due within the next 2 weeks. That's how you stay on top of things. And you're like, oh crap, like I got this test coming up, like I need to really buckle down and study for it, and like, you know, read the chapters. Like this test is over chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me make sure and the test is in 4 weeks. Let me read chapter 1 week. Let me, you know, how many pages is it? 16 pages, 20 pages. Let me divide that up within a week, like, and take notes along the way. That's how you prioritize and like plan out and organize your time, because man, I was struggling. I honestly don't even know how I made it through, because a lot of my friends did not make it through. A lot of people that I know end up failing out. And yeah, they end up filling out, and I was like, I refuse to fill out. Like I didn't make it this far to fill out, like, you know. So there's a lot of distractions, and like you'll be in your room studying, and then like you make friends on campus, of course, and they're all like, you know, because at my first week I didn't have any friends. Like I didn't know anybody. I was hanging out with guys, and it was kind of awkward because I would hang out with guys and then my other guy friends, and then I'll invite all of my guy friends, and they're just looking at me and I'm looking at them like, yeah, we're all friends. And they're like, this is weird. Like, I don't even know him. And it was crazy. I don't know. But I ended up meeting my best friend, which is still my best friend today. And that's the best thing about college, is you end up meeting like your best friend. And then you'll meet some girls that you're not going to be friends with within the next year. And it's not because you guys necessarily fell out. It's just because you get to know a lot of personalities in college, and a lot of girls end up getting turned out. And the girls that you started with, like maybe you started with friends in high school, and then that friend ended up turning into a thought, and then you're like, I can't be associated with that thoughtness, like, because people are starting to associate that with me or whatever. And you just got to be careful with just, guys are so quick to call you a thought or a toss or whatever, and they're quick to pass you to their friend. Like, I've seen it happen to girls, and I don't know, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff going on, like, yeah. And I was just gonna say this, I'm just gonna throw this out there, girls, stay away from club promoters. Stay away from athletes. Stay away from the guys that associate with club promoters, guys that are in any type of like crew or party crew, or come in like they throw house parties and they call themselves the whatever. Like, stay away from all of those, because they not trying to make you their girlfriend. If they do end up making you their girlfriend, you're gonna have to put up with a lot of stuff that's you just don't got time for. You're too young for that. Like, you honestly don't have time for the drama, girls, party, clubs every night. Like, I mean, it's fun. Like, maybe if you want to talk to those guys, like, talk to them or whatever. But I would definitely say, make them wait for it. Like, don't. I had a rule. Like, I honestly did not invite guys to my dorm room like that. Like, if I was talking to you and you wanted to come over, like, if we would all be in our surroundings, so it would be me and my friends and then the guy, because I would not want to be by myself with a guy. Sometime I would come to their place, but like my place was like my safe place. And I have made the mistake of inviting a guy to my dorm room, and he tried to, you know, make certain moves on me. I'm not gonna get into the details on it, because it's like, I basically had to like fight him off of me, and it got really, really serious, where a lot of people would say it's sexual assault, and it definitely was sexual assault. But I was in a dorm room where I had a roommate, I had a hall, like you could easily hear everything. So I started yelling, like, get the F out of my room, you know, like, get off of me, like, you know, whatever. So he got kicked out of my room, and I really didn't make it a big deal or whatever, but I literally had bruises all over my chest from it. So I was like, you know, my breasts and stuff was like that. And this guy just definitely did not have a good reputation. He was so-called popular. A lot of girls, you know, he had his way with a lot of girls. And I invited him, honestly, I invited him over with the intentions of, I have to take a quiz. And he was like, oh, I just want to hang out with you and get to know you. I have to take a quiz too. I have to study as well. So I'm like, all right, we could study together, like, you know, how it is in the movies. No. We could study together in the library. You're not going to come to my dorm room. Yeah. So unless you get to know that person a little bit better than what I knew him, because I knew him from campus, but I didn't really get to know him and to that point. So I talked to guys. I went to the dorm room. I hung out with them and stuff like that. But I just say you have to be very careful. Like, if you just met this guy at a party or whatever, don't invite him back to your dorm room late after the party. If you don't want to do what a lot of people are trying to do. I say it as, if you're talking to somebody past 12, past 11 o'clock, I'm gonna give it to 11 o'clock. If you're talking to somebody past 11 o'clock, you text in, they're trying to hang out with you, ma'am, he ain't trying to do nothing but get between your legs. I'm sorry. Just saying. Just be careful with that, ladies. And honestly, and it even have to be past that time, because it was like 8 o'clock when this guy, 8 or 7 o'clock by the time this guy came over and he got kicked out of my room or whatever. I would just say enjoy yourself, get out there, get to know people, go to parties, have fun, but also prioritize. Like if you know you're gonna go out to a party that day, like be in the library studying or whatever early that day, and like at least get some stuff done. Because one thing that sucks is when you in the club and you partying and y'all turning up and y'all just having fun, y'all having fun, y'all turning up, and then you notice, I have a paper due tonight. I have a paper that's due in like 10 minutes. I have a quiz that's due in like 10 minutes and I ain't do it. And I'm here at the club. That's the worst feeling ever. That was the worst feeling ever. And that happened to me. Sadly, that happened to me a lot, because we had parties on Thursdays. Then they had kickbacks on Fridays. Then they had the club on Saturdays. And then somebody else had a kickback on Sunday. And it was just so much going on. It was so much opportunity. And I would definitely say do that, but don't get caught up in that life. Like, just don't get caught up in that life. And it's so hard to not get caught up in your feelings, because I easily got caught up in my feelings. Like, I don't know if guys ever like knew. When like, if I really was feeling a guy and he like tried to like, you know, like play me or whatever, or things didn't work out, like I would get so in my feelings about it, and I would talk to my friends about it, and I would cry about it. And the other guys didn't see any of this. Like, I didn't really express that to them, because they didn't deserve that. They didn't deserve to see me like, you know, sweating them or whatever. But I did. I had my moments. I would say also, like, I've seen girls get so drunk to the point where like they will black out and not remember anything. And you have to be careful who your friends are. Like, I've been in situations where I got too drunk, and I had friends that left me in the club before. Like, people who have left me in the club and was like, oh, we gotta go. And I was like, okay, bye. Like, you know, not knowing like, oh wait, I'm still drunk, I cannot drive. Like, who is going to, you know, help me drive home? I don't know. Like, it was a lot. And it was definitely an experience. I think I got too caught up in like the guy life and trying to be seen. And I think a lot of people just want to be seen in the college life. Like, people dress a certain way, girls act a certain way, guys act a certain way. You do things, you hang out in certain areas where you know everybody's gonna be. Like, the cafe was like the it place where a lot of people hung out. So of course I was there hanging out, and I got to know a lot of people, and I still see these people today. Like, I don't really see them today because I'm a mom now and I work and stuff like that, and I'm in my career and I'm just focused on certain things. But sometimes I see them and I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, and it was so funny because I had a friend who didn't do anything. Like, she didn't go to any parties at all, and she didn't really like get out there in the scene. So when people would be like, she'll be like, oh my god, you just know everybody. And I'm like, oh, I don't think so. I lived on campus. And she was like, I did too. And you know, but she didn't really live on campus. She didn't really get out there, and she didn't really get to know people and go to kickbacks. Kickbacks is where you really get to know people, but you got to be careful at kickbacks too, because I always learn, like, don't let a guy fix your drink. I let guys to fix my drink. It's just that I will watch what they were putting in my drink. Like, if they're putting all types of crazy stuff in there, they're trying to get you messed up so they can get in between those legs, girl. So be careful. Yeah, I had a couple of drinks, but I would sip it slowly. They didn't know, but I was like, I see you putting all this stuff in my drink, but that's okay because I'm gonna sip it. Barely. Barely drinking. So yeah, most of my time in college, I think that I was concentrating on the wrong thing. Like, your freshman and sophomore year, like, yeah, go ahead and have fun and party it up because you're just taking your basics and stuff. But once you hit your, like, junior, senior year or whatever, like, even like mid sophomore year, like, you really actually need to start getting it together and start thinking about after college. Like, as much as we don't want to think about the real world, like, we have to start, like, you know, prioritizing ourselves. And like me, for example, I was a journalism major, and I could have got started early and, like, researching and looking up student organizations with journalism and getting in contact with more people in the communications department and seeing what they were doing, if they're any part of any organizations. Can I join those organizations? Because when you're active and investing in yourself, you ain't got time to worry about, like, Bobby and DeAndre and, you know, Joseph or whatever like that texting you back. Like, you're not gonna care because you're, like, concentrating on school, and you're also, like, focusing on yourself, and also you're getting to know yourself. Like, you're getting to know yourself, you're finding yourself. It's a journey. And I'm not gonna lie, like, my first year on campus, my first 2 years on campus, I was highly depressed. Like, especially my first year, like, a lot of people didn't know, like, I was super depressed. Like, I would drink in my dorm room every day there was a bottle of wine in my room. And I was, you know, I wasn't 21 or whatever, but, you know, it's college. But yeah, so I would drink almost every day, and I was so depressed because, you know, I thought things were wrong with me, and it wasn't me. It was just I was concentrating on the wrong things. It's like, if I was active in my organizations, and, you know, I would just kind of like, oh, so-and-so's having a kickback, but they're also having something tonight on campus, and I would choose a kickback. And it's kind of like, you have to balance out your social life. Like, I'm not saying, like, don't be a social person and go out to kickbacks and parties and stuff like that and getting to, like, know guys and talk to them. I'm just saying, like, make sure that it's a balance. Like, if you're finding yourself, like, worried about a certain guy texting you back all the time, and, you know, you are in your room sleeping all the time, because that's what I would do. I would go to my room after class, I would go to sleep, I would wake up, I would eat, and I would drink, and I would just hang out with my friend. We would just sit in the dorm room and talk. That was my routine, and it was depressive because I wasn't investing in myself, and I wasn't trying to get to know myself. I was judging myself and my beauty and my standards off of, like, how guys were treating me, and that's the worst way to, like, that is the worst way. Like, and you know, like, of course, like, you go to the gym, like, you know, I would go to the gym at times too. Like, it's just so many, like, people test you in so many ways. Like, they'll try to play you in certain ways. Like, guys will try to be like, oh, she thinks she's all that, like, let me treat her like she's not all that. And that's a lot of guys' mentality. Or, like, it's like a game to them. It's like, let me see if I can get her. So sometimes you have to be on the defensive, like, knowing, like, who's coming at you. Like, don't be mean to every guy that comes to talk to you. It depends how he approaches himself to you, because you're gonna get that. But I wouldn't say just, like, invest all your time in these guys, because at the end of the day, like, if you invest in yourself, you're gonna grow to the point where a lot of these guys that's trying to dish you and trying to play you, a lot of them trying to hit me up now, a lot of them trying to they're watching me, and they ain't doing nothing with themselves. Like, I'm not saying they're not, like, you know, just bumming it out, but we on different levels, boo. Okay. But okay, so that's with the guy thing. That can go into a whole different subject, but I would just say, like I said, stay away from promoters and athletes, and that includes except baseball. I think baseball is a little safe, because guys in baseball, they usually, like, marry their women, and, like, you know, but basketball players, no, don't do it to yourself. Football players, no, don't do it to yourself. And I'm not saying this as in like I've been played by these guys, because I didn't talk to any football players on campus. Like I seen them walking around on campus, but I just didn't deal with the drama or whatever. But I did talk to one basketball player, but it was just like, it was like literally for 3 weeks, and it wasn't even that long, and it was drama, like not with me because I wasn't so invested in it, but I just like backed away from it because he literally had girls jumping each other for him. Like it was crazy. Like, and he festered off of, like, he like thrived off the drama, and I'm like, ugh, like you're not even worth all that. And you have that power. Like you do have that power when you ain't sweating it, and you're like really doing your thing, and you're laughing, you're having fun, you're not looking like you're bothered, and you really enjoying your life. Like men are attracted to that, and like don't even do it for them. Like you actually be happy, actually laugh when you feel like you want to laugh, and focus on yourself. Because at the end of the day, like you're building towards something, and a lot of these people are not on for the train ride. Like they're not supposed to be in that train ride. They're not supposed to fit, because all they're gonna do is just weigh you down and slow your process down. So a lot of these guys out here that you're sweating on and tripping on or whatever, some of them are not meant to be on that train, because on that cart, because they're gonna slow you down until where you need to be with the people that you need to be surrounded with. So that's one thing. I think I sweated too many guys up. Not too many, but I think I sweated guys more than I should have. And the beauty of goodbye friends, beauty of goodbye, bye. I would definitely say that. And then also, like, if you're like me, for an example, like I'm a journalist major, so of course like my major is hard. Every person that I met, and I'll probably do a separate video on this, every person I met was like, oh well, I was a journalism major too, but I'm a teacher now. And it was so discouraging to hear stuff like that, because it was just like, okay, nothing wrong with being a teacher, but that's not what you went to school for, so what happened? And they're like, oh, it's so hard to get a job in there. And what I found out the key is like, yeah, it's hard to get a job because you weren't interning. You weren't involved in any organizations that had anything to do with your major. Like, you weren't out there pursuing and networking and just joining an organization and being active on campus. And if there isn't an organization, why don't you talk to some people who are in radio or in communications, like whatever. Even if you're in broadcast and they have a radio station, take that radio station and intern there. Like, who cares? Like, long as you are doing something proactive. Because I started off in radio, and now I work in the top 10 market right now as a digital journalist, and in a major market. Like, that's big, because I was active, and I didn't get a lot of internships. But I was also active in my organizations, and to the point where I was a leader. I won awards, and I had a mentor. Get a mentor. Like, it's so important for every college student to have a mentor to help them through, somebody who does the same thing that they're doing, or somebody who's trying to do somebody who is already there, or who have mentored other students before them that are successful or whatever. Like, it's so important to have your mentor. That is like key in college as well. And just staying prioritized. So staying prioritized, focusing on bettering yourself and finding yourself and being a better you in college. Like, if you really concentrate on yourself, doing it, and on your academics, working out, like, the guys will be like, they're gonna come to you automatically or whatever. And it's just a time to find yourself, because you'll know what you want and what you don't want. And you should write down a list of like what you want in life, and what you want from yourself, and not just from guys, but what you want from yourself and what you want in the future of your career. And like, and look at that list and say, am I following anything that's on this list right now? Well, and then write down, like, what have you done that past week? If it's mostly sleeping and partying and just hanging out with friends, that's not going to get you to that list. Or texting Dustin and Dusty dude, whatever his name is, and he ain't texting you back, and he tripping. Or if you see him on Instagram liking a whole bunch of girl photos and just and commenting and saying sexual things to them, and you're like, oh, I ain't tripping off of that. Why shouldn't you feel like you deserve all of his attention? Because you are worthy of that attention, right? So I would definitely say that, like, this guy, these guys, I mean, it's college. Like, you can't expect much from a lot of them until they're I'm not gonna say all of them, because there are guys that have met girls and things have worked out and they've been dating since then, but never settle. Like, people change. Like, a lot of lames from high school end up becoming the ish on campus, and you know, they end up treating women badly because they never had that. And whatever, who cares what they think? Like, stop trying to understand them and try to understand yourself. I think that was a lot of my thing. It's like, why does he act like this, or why does he doing this, or why is it? No. It has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with me, of why I feel like I should be treated like that. So that's one thing about dealing with guys in college, and I would definitely say have a social life. Just balance it out. Like, I'm never gonna say like just concentrate on school and only school. Like, no, like, have fun, text guys, you know, go out to kickbacks, have fun, but make sure you balancing everything, because when it's unbalanced, like, if you're always in your studies, you're gonna be like, man, college boring, I'm so depressed, blah blah blah. Like, and you're gonna end up talking to somebody who don't deserve your time, or you're gonna be partying so much where you're like, oh my god, I'm failing out of school, I'm not in school anymore, you know. So it's just all about prioritizing your time, and I'm just gonna keep reiterating that you have to prioritize yourself. So I know this video is getting a little long, sorry about that, guys. I just kind of wanted to say things that I wish I knew in college, things that I wish I could have got started on. I wish I would have joined organizations and got active in my organizations, and you know, balancing everything and getting to know myself and what I like and what I don't like and what I deserve and what I do deserve, and you know, learning in classes, getting in study groups, taking time out to go to the library by yourself, because I would go to the library with my friends and I would get nothing done. Like, if I felt like I wasn't getting anything done, I'm like, I gotta go, I can't study right now. Like, I go find that place. If it's the library, if it's on campus in your dorm room, or is it in the lobby area of your dorm room, or is it in your campus apartment, whatever, like, find that place and like study or whatever. Also, if you're working, I would suggest waiting tables. If you need money for school, like, waiting tables, like, they literally work for your schedule. I've never known any place that's like, no, I can't work with your school schedule. You don't have time to be making minimum wage and working the hours that you work. Like, you got to come in on those weekends, work your nights, get your money, and then it's really good as a college student to have money always, like, hands on, because you just never know where you're gonna go, what you're gonna do, whatever. So, you know, it's really good to have that cash on you as a waiter and a server. I waited tables all the way out throughout college. A lot of people that I know, if you don't have a car, definitely work on campus. They work with your schedule. When I was pregnant with my kid, I worked on campus. So I would study, you know, and then I would, after I studied, and, you know, go to class or whatever, and I would study some more, and I would have a break, and I'll probably take a nap or whatever like that on campus, and I would go and work on campus. Like, it was just such an easy job. It was very smooth. It wasn't stressful at all. So I was able to save up money and have a little something on the side before my child came. So I think those are all the steps I could definitely take. I've seen a lot of people making the same mistakes that I've made. People are just trying to find themselves in college, and sometimes they end up being a nasty person in the midst of trying to find themselves, and they're going to hurt a lot of people, and you can only concentrate on yourself. Friends, but if you feel like you're around friends who will get you drunk and leave you at a party by yourself, those are not your friends. Find new friends, and just know when it's time to, like, say, hey, do I really want to end up like this one girl right here, or, you know, do I want to make better decisions for myself? So I think that's about it, guys. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, again, like I said, you guys can send me a message. You can email me, listed below. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Instagram. I'm more active on Instagram than anything, and I'm trying to stay on top of my emails as well, because I get a lot of emails. But definitely on Instagram. Like, I definitely check my Instagram more often. Do you have any questions about school or anything, something that I may have missed out? Let me know and comment below. So I hope this video helped, and I hope you guys have a happy new year. Bye.